G'day everybody, it's Marie from Just Add Books, and I promised Chris from Stuff His Dreams Are Made On that I would do a vlog, and I was going to wait for Readathon next weekend, but then I thought, well, I could do one for my reading list for Once Upon a Time, which is hosted by Carl from Stainless Steel Droppings, and then do one for the Readathon as well, so you get two for the price of nothing. Anyway, that made no sense at all. So, Once Upon a Time, which, as you all know, Carl runs wonderful, wonderful challenges. That was Scout. It was Marilyn last time, wasn't it? Or Cass, but it's Scout this time. Which are all sort of the challenges, I mean, not the cat. Wonderfully sort of open and, relaxed. Sorry. Can't think of any words. And for Once Upon a Time, he has a variety of quests for reading in the broader sort of fantasy genre. So I'm doing, for this particular Once Upon a Time, I'm doing quest the first, which is to read 5 books from from any of the 4 subgenres, I believe, which are fantasy, folklore, mythology, and fairy tales. I wrote it down so I could remember. And I'm also doing the short story weekend, hopefully, and the quest on screen, which is just to talk about TV or movies that would fit into their broader Once Upon a Time umbrella. And I also want to do the Shakespeare thing, but because I live in the southern hemisphere, A Midsummer Night's Dream wouldn't really work, so I need to, maybe A Winter's Tale or something like that, which I've never read. But I'll have to think about that. Or maybe The Tempest, which I read in university and really enjoyed. And I've got it here sticking out the side of... Never mind. On to the books? Yes. Okay, so first, for the short story weekends, I've had this book for a while. It is... backwards? Backwards? Dark Alchemy by... Dark Alchemy, sorry, not by, but edited by Garth Nix, Ian Colfer, and Neil Gaiman. And it's actually young adult short stories and stories from larger works, I think. So that's book 1. That better not be backwards because I don't have to do this again. I've also been rereading a couple of series, and as some of you know on Twitter, one of them is Valgariad and the Malorian for Team Silk. And so the next book for me, and that is The Sorceress of Dashiva and the Malorian, so that is on the list. Yes. And the other series I started rereading was Harry Potter. I've read the first one, and I'm collecting these. Look at these covers, aren't these gorgeous, these Bloomsbury covers? So I've got the first 4 now, so I've got 1, 2, 3 to go. And so I'm rereading these, so this is the next one up for me, is The Chamber of Secrets, so it's book 2. Say hello to Piper. And then we have, and this ties into the quest on screen as well, because The Princess Bride, I actually read this years and years ago, but I found this gorgeous sort of reissue in the bookstore, and I have the movie, so I'll be doing both. So there's that. I'm obviously getting over ambitious here, but nothing new. Wait till you see my readathon list next week, which I have no idea. It's probably going to be this. I wouldn't need to do a second. Never mind. Anyway, had this for a little while. Temeraire by Naomi Novik, which I believe has dragons and like boats or something. A few people I know have read it and recommended it, so that's on the pile. Another one from Mr. Neil Gaiman, which is not edited by him this time, he actually wrote it. Oh, I sound stupid, you know what I mean. The Anansi Boys, which is the sequel to American Gods, and I reread American Gods last year, so this is on the Once Upon a Time pile this year, and it fits into the mythology subgenre. Next we have, and I got this from the library today actually, The Name of the Wind. I thought it was out, and I went to check the library website, and Jeremy had gone to the library, so I sent him a text message to say, can you please get this for me if it's there. And we were talking, this came up in not the last, but one of the most recent, the South Pacific Book Chat chats on Twitter, which if you've seen our hashtag on a Thursday night and gone, what in the world, which is hash SPBKCHT, I think. It's hard when you're saying it like out loud. And the idea behind that was me and Marge from Marge Reads and Tanabata from In Spring the Dawn started talking about how there was no kind of Twitter book discussion for people in kind of the southern hemisphere that was time zone friendly to us, and so that's how that came about. But of course it's open to everybody, and the fantasy discussion was really amazing. Actually, there were a lot of people, and we see new people every week, which is great. We love that, and we love, you know, we've got regulars, and it's kind of becoming a little bit of a thing, which is it's kind of cool. And that has absolutely nothing to do with Once Upon a Time, but I just wanted to put it out there. If you're ever on Twitter on a Thursday night about 10 o'clock New Zealand time and you see the hashtag, jump in, because we have great discussions. Back to Once Upon a Time. I'm actually reading Tigana at the moment for Memories read along, except all I'm doing is reading the book and not doing anything about the read along. But I have this that I found on the Withdrawn Bookshop at the library, Withdrawn Bookshelf at the library, which is A Song for Arbonne, which I've never read, and as you can see it's a sizable book. I'm going to sneeze in a minute actually, I was just warning you. And I actually finally read the summary. I just saw it on the shelf and thought, ooh, and they're 50 cents for $1 or something. So there's that. Second to last, but not least, is it's Kraken, isn't it? I always say Kraken because I think it sounds better, but it's Kraken by China Mayville, which I don't know if it fits into any of the subgenres exactly, but you know, it has a giant squid and Kraken are mythological creatures, and I don't know, I could watch Pirates of the Caribbean or something, maybe. I don't know. Plus, I think China Mayville is also, I mean, I've only read 2 of his books. I read Un London and I read The City in the City last year, which every time I see the word breach in anything now, all I can think of is The City in the City. So, which I think was obviously, it's quite a clever thing on his part. So there's that. It's actually got a really cool cover. It's got like a purple squiddy thing. May have had this on the readathon pile last year. I'm not sure. Last but not least, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, I wanted 10 because I don't know. I just wanted 10. Is that I've actually had this for a while too. It's The Looking Glass Wars by Frank Beadawall, which I haven't read, and I picked it up on sale at one of the bookstores in town here ages and ages ago. And I think it's a young adult novel, and it's illustrated, and well, obviously it's about wars in Wonderland. Look at the back cover. Look. Isn't that cool? Like mushrooms. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. That's really cool. So that's on the pile as well. And I forgot to check before I did this how long the challenge lasts for, but that's fine. And also these are all books that I have a bookshelf in my bedroom, which is it's actually my Twitter background, which is my excuse the sniffing because I thought I was going to sneeze, my to be read bookcase for the year. And all of these books, apart from of course the library book and the Malorian one, which I kind of started reading on impulse, are all from that pile of books. So yeah. I don't know how it's going to go. I hope it's going to go well, but we'll see, because, you know, I tend to get a bit carried away with things. And I hope that's not too long, although I probably babbled, but whatever. So there you have it.